Do it.
Welcome to a new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts, delivered to you by DoorDash.
I claim Reed Schaefer as my own.
Just that I love Daily Faceoff and everything about it, even their starting goalie tool.
Ooga.
Every f***ing standard industry practice.
I love you.
I have daddy issues.
Wanya, welcome to episode 67 of Blue Jays Nation Radio.
Now I'm playing an episode of Blue Jays Nation Radio. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Anyways, Wanya, everything you ever dreamed of with that intro?
Who did that?
I will find their name right now.
Bag Milk, you made it. You made it.
I did it finally. I'm in the intro.
Of Meat Watcher.
Very well done.
Meat Watcher.
Wait, Meat Watcher?
Very well done.
Tyler, did you say Meat Watcher?
Yeah.
Meat Watcher is also the composer of Tie Tie, Why Won't You Kiss Me?
Oh, God, no kidding.
Oh,
Meat Watcher's got some skills. Clearly.
Meat Watcher is on the case.
Where exactly does the name Meat Watcher come from? I'd like to know.
Hobbies.
Hobbies?
Is it like when he watches Pornhub, he's just watching the meat?
Yeah, he's going for those specific behind angles.
Yeah.
maybe he's a butcher or works in an abattoir.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
Or he just goes and hangs out at Chili's and he loves watching the fajitas come out.
That's also possible.
That's entertaining though.
Yeah, you see them shit sizzling on the way to the table. Everybody's
that's
having a
a
good time
vibe.
with that. Absolutely.
Great birthday haircut, Jay. Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh,
Happy
thank
birthday,
you.
buddy.
Thank you.
You bet heavily on the Oilers last night because it was your birthday. How'd you do?
I nailed all my bets outside of the Oilers puck line, even though that should have been delivered to me on a silver platter.
That should have been the lock of the century. Like, I think we all had.
I got my Janmark goal. Thank you. And I got the Leon
You
and
bet
Connor
on
both to score.
that guy scoring?
What's that?
You bet on Janmark scoring?
Oh, yeah.
I love that he buried that when he had the
Wow.
chance. That's fantastic.
Wow.
What's this bet? You can't even see his hair. It's underneath a hat. So, like,
But you can tell
he may
it's-
have just gotten a number one on the sides, and you don't know nothing about the top.
As someone who also wears hats every day, I recognize how a nice haircut looks in a hat.
Don't talk to me about wearing hats. I sleep in hats. You see how
Tyler,
bold I am?
how about Gregor calling you
I was
out for
just
wearing a
gonna
backwards
say-
hat?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
So
old man, eh?
the guy who once in a while on the DFO rundown will wear a toque while we're recording it, or will wear lime green glasses, or is proud of the fact he owns a pair of lime green golf pants because he thinks they look so cool, is going to come at me for my
newsboy
fashion.
hat. I remember for a while he's like, I'm going to wear different hats. That's my thing. I'm like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
he tried to be cool hat guy with like a Kangol
Yeah.
hat forward for a bit,
He
didn't
loves
And
being
you
Samuel
can't wear
Jackson.
a hat backwards.
He loves being
Because he
Samuel
had that
Jackson.
look with that one look for a period of time where it was the Kangol hat forward with the vest over the t-shirt.
Yikes.
He likes to try to rock deep bucket flap brims. He doesn't have the Tate for it. He's a dad hat guy. He needs to realize that.
It's like he
Not
had
for
a
everyone.
stylist from like a European pop band in the 90s working for him.
But I'll tell you
They're
one
like,
thing,
you know what
as
you
a-
need is
as a-
vest over t-shirt, Jason, and a fedora.
As a bald fellow like Jason, it's a real cool thing when you find a new hat that works on you. And like Kangols, they worked for him. Like, don't get me wrong, they really worked for him. But when we were in Mexico, I remember finding out that a Cuban gangster hat really looked good on me. And when you figure that out, and
What's
a
a
cowboy
Cuban
hat,
gangster?
Yeah, what is that
You mean
hat?
those
Like-
little short
Do-rag?
brim Federale
kind of a
hats,
little,
like,
kind of a little one of those. But I could
fell
never wear it at home. So I'm stuck with like baseball hats. So I don't understand why he's getting rattled at you, because you can either only wear them backwards or forwards. Because if you wear them sideways, that just looks
Chalmers,
ridiculous.
you used to wear backwards Kangol hats before Samuel L. Jackson did. You were
For
a
sure I did. We
pioneer
talked
of
about
those.
this. And dude, remember when we left this podcast studio that day, we talked about this like 6 months ago. I went home
Yeah.
to try to find one and buy one so I could come and
Yes.
wear it for the next one. They
Yes.
are outlandishly expensive.
Really?
Yeah, like $129. And they used to be like 30. Did you guys see
Chalmers, you
Brian?
used to drop $300 on a diesel t-shirt and you'd wear it to the bar
That
once.
was a different me. That was a fancy free me. This one has kids and a mortgage payment. I can't be spending that kind of money on no hat anymore. But did you see Brian Robinson? He's an NFL player, boys, and he's wearing these things. It's like a huge
Big hat?
baseball hat.
Yeah.
I think it's called a humongo hat. They are absolutely the most ridiculous thing. They were on Shark Tank, and the shark that was the FUBU clothing line mogul. Do you know who that was?
Oh, Desmond, whatever.
Yeah. He invested in them, and they're a legit thing now. And
that's fun.
They go for like $75 a piece.
You don't always want a humongo hat, but sometimes you do.
I think they're cool.
I could see Chalmers. I could see you rocking a Castro hat.
But
that's what he meant by Cuban.
No. That's not what I was talking about. No, it was the one. No. Not the Castro kind of hat. You're look good in the Castro hat. You used to run them all the time, Jared. But no, not those ones. It's a full brim hat, but it's like a cowboy hat, but with a way smaller brim.
Yeah,
but not a fedora. Like a bit bigger than a fedora.
Smoking a cigar.
I rocked it once for the beat cast.
Yeah,
Chalmers, you should rock a Tilly hat. You should rock like an Explorer Safari hat.
Oh, I can't do that with one side up, like Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, with one side up.
Or like when Pharrell was rocking the Arby's hat, I could see you doing one of those too. You know,
those big dress
I don't
hats he
know.
was wearing.
That reminds me of like the Saturday Night Live put out a sketch of with girls with extremely big hats. They did a whole song about it. Very funny. Go look, it's like, and they just keep coming in with bigger and bigger hats. It was with Megan Thee Stallion, I believe. Yeah, very funny episode. Very funny sketch.
You for the detail.
I think it was the only funny sketch of that episode, but
it's because there's a new cast. Like
they can't all be winners, boys. They can't all be
good. It just takes time for them to start meshing. And you have to endure the ups and downs when there's a massive cast swap.
I once heard that everybody thinks that you only like Saturday Night Live with the cast that you had when you were in your 20s.
No, not true. I've moved on from like 3 casts or 4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the cores. Like I would have caught the tail end of like Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, Mike Myers,
Kevin Nealon,
the Will Ferrell era. We saw that coming.
And then you had like Norm Macdonald. Yeah, the Will Ferrell era with
but that was
Cherry O'Terry.
But that was all in your 20s.
Yep.
No, and then move out of that. Bill Hader.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Bill
actually,
Hader, Fred Armisen,
Jason
Sudeikis.
That was like our favorite.
Fred Armisen.
Kenan Thompson's been involved in all of these eras, and now the new one where it was like with Kate McKinnon. What's her name?
Bryant
80.
And Beck Bennett.
My favorite bit on Saturday Night Live right now
the nerd that I love with the long curly hair and the glass.
Yeah. He does those videos. I follow him on Twitter. I can't remember his name.
Goddamn. So do Kyle Mooney.
Yeah,
he's
the best bit on Saturday Night Live right now is when Michael Che and Colin Jost write each other jokes. For
oh my God! I was literally waiting for this whole charade to be set up. 22 minutes it took for this podcast to get set up, and I was watching Instagram Reels, and there was a joke.
Do you really say charade?
Charade, yes. It was a whole charade.
Rodeo.
Charade, whatever.
Can I get a ruling on this?
No. Sometimes I like to pronounce words fancy, like my bona fides.
You are fancy. You're from the fancy part of town.
Exactly.
Your How would you say charade? Charade or charade?
It's a charade.
Of course, it's a charade. I was doing it on purpose. Anyways, I watched a joke and I just realized I can't tell the joke, but it's very funny. It's very funny. They try to make them very racially insensitive to each other, which is the best part.
I love that bit. They just do such a good job with it, and you can tell they just have so much fun with it too. That's my favorite thing. I look forward to it every week they do it.
Colin always takes the worst of that.
100%.
No, which is awesome. And you know what? I didn't like Michael Che right off the bat. I thought he was very awkward on TV, and I realized he was just like a really great writer.
Yeah.
And that's kind of whenever you see somebody on Saturday Night Live who's not proficient in front of the camera, usually they are one of the best writers. And Colin Jost just happens to be the one that has both, but.
Michael Che's stand-up.
No, Che's gotten way better, but at the beginning, he was just very awkward. Yeah. And just like there's a couple people on this season that are pretty awkward on camera.
Did you know that Michael Che is the head writer at SNL, Chalmers?
I thought Colin Jost was. Oh, did Michael Che take that over?
Yep.
Oh, good for him. Yep. See, they're best friends.
Excellent writer.
I'm gonna send him a note.
I'm gonna send him a note. You guys know I like to go into the DMs on Insta. Like there's a guy that I went into the DMs.
Did you DM Michael Che and ask him to come on the podcast?
No, I didn't.
He offered you $500?
$500? No, I did not. I'm not there yet with him. But trust me, if he ever posts a riddle, I'll be the first one to Google the answer, send him the right answer, and get that money. Anyways, how are we doing? What episode is it? You forgot to do that whole thing because you were very off today when you got here.
If you've noticed, I don't do the episode and the ad read off the jump anymore. I let us breathe into the podcast really naturally.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of roll into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the office here this morning is very, I would say, quiet. And so when I asked somebody, I said, how come it's so quiet in here? They said, well, it wasn't. It was bumping this morning for the watch party for the Canada game.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
History making.
Oh, Chalmers.
Was it though?
Canada scored its second goal in a
Oh
World Cup.
my God. So
It was an own goal.
The best part about the lead up to this game was on almost, and I just, every single, I know, I'm going to do it again, Bag Milk, because I got,
Chalmers hates Canada.
I'm telling you right now.
People are starting to turn on Chalmers. I don't know if you realize
No,
this.
they are not. The majority, and I can send you messages.
The majority, eh?
The majority of the people that reached out to me agreed with me and said.
The majority of the silent majority? The silent minority?
No, because people who feel the same way, they want to let me know. The people that don't, they know deep down inside.
They don't tell you.
That, boy.
Silent Majority would be a great band name.
Oh, yeah.
Hey?
Absolutely.
Do you guys know?
Ladies and gentlemen, Silent Majority.
Just so you know, I'm going to give you a little stat of the day.
Yeah.
Canada's record in this World Cup, 0 wins, 0 draws, 3 losses.
Yeah.
The only other team that has a record equal to us
Qatar
is host country Qatar. And the only reason they have it is because they spent a lot of money to get it. So I just think it's very funny.
Yeah, so we earned it. Think about it. We got there for free.
Yeah, okay. Well,
that's hard work.
I just think it's very funny that going into this game, I was seeing all over Twitter and Instagram, watch as history could be made with our first win.
Were they wrong?
No, they weren't wrong.
Okay.
But it wasn't. Do you know what's historic? I'll tell you what's historic. This is historic. I took a picture of this just for you guys so that I could...
Holy fuck. This had better be good because I want to talk about how much money Ronaldo made.
Stephanie Frappart becomes the first woman to referee a men's World Cup match as she takes charge of Germany versus Costa Rica, period.
Yeah.
History, period. That's history.
That is history.
That's history.
That's history.
Sure.
Yeah, in the refereeing books.
In Qatar, to have a woman be
great.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It is.
So
I just don't understand.
I think maybe we're throwing around the word history a little bit too much. I don't mind telling you.
All right. So, 20 years from now,
doubling down.
You're
doubling down.
You're at a bar trivia.
Yeah.
Who scored Canada's first ever goal at the World Cup?
Alfonso Davies.
You're going to go run to the stage and you're going to scream, Alfonso Davies.
No, I'm just going to be like, it was history, you guys.
Why? It's because it is history.
I just don't understand like your lack of or even of knowledge on the subject to have such a strong take on it.
I know that is
like Canada played in a beyond difficult group. Morocco, from a lot of people, is one of the most underrated teams coming in. Belgium and Croatia have made the Final Four of the last World Cup. So Canada went into a very tough group and was in every match they played in. And you're like, embarrassing. Losers.
Of 32 teams, they are only one of 2 that have not won or drawn a game.
Toughest fucking groups, Chalmers.
No, I get it.
And 13 of the players on their roster are under 25.
If you haven't realized that I know how to rile you guys out, and honestly though,
but I think
it's
you believe
very
it.
funny.
Yeah, no, you believe it. And now that you're getting kind of like walked into actually having to discuss it, you're like, ooh, I'm just gonna say I'm joking.
I don't care to discuss it.
I'm just riling you up. That's admitting I'm wrong.
Canada, same record as guitar.
As guitar?
I can't sing Qatar. It would have made me fumble my words. Damn it.
Don't get your M-check so mad, Chalmers. You know he only has 9 toes.
Who would have thought that you guys would get so riled up about?
You got to be careful.
This is such a dumb take.
That's so fun.
Your M-check's killing the B-cast. He'll kill you too.
I heard.
Your M-check, can you walk me through why you want to kill the beat cast, please?
No,
I
I honestly don't want to.
No, I asked him privately behind the doors. Behind doors.
I don't know what the origin is. I don't know what the beginning is. I have seen so many people say, don't kill the beat cast. I'm like, I assume this is a joke, but I don't know what the joke is.
You know what? I think Bag Milk should keep doing it.
Oh, well, it's
Bag Milk?
amazing how your opinion has changed
No,
now.
your thoughts, Bag Milk? Keep doing the Beatcast.
Well, if the
It's an
people want me
interesting
to.
octave your voice is in
all
your
right.
Chuck. I don't usually hear it go up to that point.
Yeah, we moved up a couple there. So, I mean, if the people want me to do it, and it seems like they do, they just vehemently disagree with Tyler's decision, then I'll keep doing it, you know?
But why?
Do you
how does
wanna
even
do it,
come up as a
Bagnell?
topic of conversation.
It is a great time.
I would like to
There
do
was
it.
a meeting
Maybe
I
I'll
was
take it
sitting in,
over.
Wanye. It was a nation content meeting.
Sure.
I'll take over the Beatcast and I'll do it for 2 games and realize, holy shit, it's a pain in the ass to go Instagram live after 82 fucking games in a season, and then I'll just bail on it and then it'll just be dead. Period. Is that a nice
So just bail
transition?
on it, like my home reno segment.
Yeah. When you tear down a wall, don't cut through plumbing pipes. There's my construction tip of the day.
Did that happen?
No, it didn't happen to me, but I'm sure it's happening right now in the world. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about the things you're talking about and being like, that's literally happening right now somewhere in the world?
For sure, I'll drive by an apartment building and go, I wonder if anyone in those suites are banging.
Me too. I really do. That's fucking weird. Me too. I know. Do you never think of that
Especially
kind of
at
stuff?
night. Like, there's
Have you
gotta
ever
be at
think
least
about?
4 or
Have you ever
5
thought about
units.
like how you rank? If the world had a world ranking for everything, like where you would be
Yes.
in that, like right now. Right now,
Just in terms of like,
So what
being
am
a
I getting
human?
ranked against right now?
the rest, every other person in the world.
But doing what?
But on what
Sitting on a
metric?
couch?
No.
Am
That's
I
the
number
thing.
one
It
right
can be
now?
everything. No, because there's 2 of us. So you'd
oh,
be.
man, but maybe I'm
overall,
ranked higher.
a human score?
And that's the point. Is would you be ranked higher than me because you're sitting a different way on the couch, or you've sat longer on a couch? Just hear me out. Okay, so just like you're sitting there and you're having like a couple beers, and you're like, you know what? I've had by a certain point, you've had about 10 drinks, and you're like, I wonder in the world where I rank to how many drinks I've had. Like, what in the world? You never
Who's
go,
the
no
drunkest
sense.
man
the drink.
in
No, the drink.
world?
No, the
What
drink.
in the world? How do I rank for me drinking 10
The amount of
drinks?
kilometers I've driven today. I wonder who in the world has driven the most amount of kilometers in a 24-hour day.
How would you get
That's
that
cool.
ranking? You know, time zones are a hell of a thing. There'd really be no way.
No, I know. No, but it'd be like a 24-hour period starting from noon to noon in yours, and so like but it's just.
Well,
hey,
Chalmers,
listen.
I can assure you, in that example, you'll be very low on the list.
Yeah,
No, I think
probably.
he'd be very high. I think all of us in any given day would be like top 20% in the world in distance driven. Think of how many people don't drive.
Yeah.
Think of how many people.
Yeah,
are,
but this is being ranked against everyone in the world who is driving.
I think he's just saying everyone in the world.
Everyone in the world.
So,
then
Chalmers,
you're
there's a
babies
meme
that
that
are not
says-
driving.
How do you?
No, okay, I think you're taking the example of
Oh, am I
driving
taking
a
this
little
too
bit
far?
too literally. No, a little too literally. I wasn't going to take it too far. But I just mean
Like Chalmers, there's a
just
meme that comes up all
the
the time
next
on
time
Instagram.
you do something and you're like, wow, I've done this a lot today. I wonder where I rank in the world of people who have also done this today.
so you do want to group everyone who's doing that exact thing into the same ranking?
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so then that's exactly what I was
Well, there's
saying.
different parameters for everything.
Yeah.
Somebody else
Sometimes,
has thought
Chalmers,
this.
when
I'm
I
not the
watch
only
a
one.
It's very
show,
political.
In terms of ranking where we would be amongst people who have done a podcast today, I'd be scared to know.
Where do I rank drinking a non-alcoholic beer?
I was going to crush one of those today, too.
Well, I'm
I'll bet
thirsty,
you,
so that's why
I'll
I'm
bet
having
you
one.
there's a recovering
got a
alcoholic
nice
out there
sugar-free
who
Pepsi
leads the
today.
league in about 27 non-alcoholic beers today because they just love the taste of the beer. That's what I mean, is there's going to be an outlier out there where you're going to be like, whoa, that's amazing. Somebody has done that much of that already today?
Yeah, like it's like there's a meme that goes around Instagram all the time that it's really rattled me since I saw it the first time. It says, somewhere out there, Chalmers,
Yes.
somebody has taken the biggest shit on earth.
Yes!
And nobody knows who it is or how close you've become.
You
to being
might
that
be the person who took the biggest shit on earth that day.
Nah, I'm not.
Yep.
No, I'm not saying, but maybe.
person. You could have been. You never know how close you are.
The longest we.
Maybe a guy comes out of a coma and he hasn't weed for a while. Oh, no, they usually have a catheter or something.
Well, think about Austin Powers. He didn't have a catheter. He was frozen.
Yep. He was
He was very hairy and he peed for a very long time.
Yes.
Great pull.
I don't know. My mind's a weird place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
ever
it's
think
very
about-
macro.
You ever think about where you rank amongst people who hate their own countries?
Very low,
high,
because
very high.
if anybody knows out here,
Very
I
high.
love the country of Canada. Oh, Canada. But I just don't particularly like,
Soccer.
the feeling I have right now, looking at how our country did when there was a lot of hype put towards it.
You don't like the participation ribbon aspect of it.
I mean,
But no one gave him a participation ribbon. We're just
I'm
everything we're celebrating is actual fact.
I'm not saying
was
I'm not-
that Canada's first ever goal scored in a World Cup?
Yes.
Yes. Fact.
Historic.
Book it. History. It's in the books.
Yes.
That is an answer to a trivia question in 25 years.
yes. So I tell you that I listened to other podcasts. And I listened to an American podcast that talked about the American team, and they brought up the Canadian team, and they used the words, "I would feel embarrassed."
That's
And they love Canada. They love hockey. Like these guys.
What podcast was it?
I'm not telling you why. The
Chris
Dan Le Batard
Chalmers
show.
podcast.
The Dan Le Batard show, and they were like Canada had a lot of hype going into this, and they talked about this like literally yesterday.
We did beat the U.S. too.
And they said that if the United States were to knock it out, like that they would also be very disappointed and embarrassed by that.
But the U.S. has been in the World Cup a bajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
We have not.
Right. Yeah, no, I never said that it wasn't great that we got there. I'm just saying that if you're sitting here looking at this fucking results as a positive, you are just trying to see the world through rose-colored glasses. This was definitely a disappointment to go 0-0-3. It just is.
Did I expect them to do better? Yes. Mm-hmm. But like at the same time, you can't be so critical of it because you have to really understand the circumstance. And I think that's
The
what we need to.
circumstance is that
expectations.
The circumstance is that there's teams that are number 2, like Belgium, getting knocked out.
Yeah,
that
but they have a
Spain
bunch
is
of
knocked
injuries.
out.
Where's
That-
Lukaku, Chalmers? He's
Oh,
hurt.
Lukaku.
Well, he's hurt.
My
So
boy.
What's his name?
Lukaku. So
Classic.
I'm
That's
just,
right.
I'm
That's
just
so
saying
Belgium sucks.
that if I don't know much about World Cups, but it would appear to me that there's a lot of upsets happening, and I would just have liked to have one of those.
They almost did.
To
in
who?
the toughest fucking group.
Belgium.
They almost beat Belgium.
Belgium got to.
They came within hitting a crossbar today of drawing with Morocco. And does Morocco not win the group?
I guess
Yes, they did.
I'm just not used to hearing the words "we were a crossbar away from tying the game," and that is like a huge point of pride. I'm just not used to it. I guess I'm just not used to it. I don't get it. Whatever. Let's
You
move
know,
on.
Chalmers, you come in here with your underwear and a twist, looking for a fight on any topic, and
I didn't look for a twist, but I just thought it was
I
ironic
respect it.
that
Doesn't matter what we say.
Where's the
you got
irony?
something to
Chalmers
say.
thinks Nicholas Latifi can win an F1 race.
who is that?
Oh
even?
my god! I don't even need to know who that is to know you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he was consistent though, Jay.
He was very consistent. And,
Yeah.
and he was Canadian too.
Yeah, that's true.
He was or is?
Well,
Continues to be,
You know
yeah.
what? He was now. He is off my Canadian books.
In terms of where he ranks amongst Canadians, it's
At
off.
some
this
point,
current moment,
at
very
some
low.
point, like, look, Lance Stroh, I'm proud of you for getting to the F1. I really
He's
am.
better than Latifi.
You're Canadian and you're gonna get there, but like, win a fucking race. Like, come on, win a race.
Well,
But that's the thing about F1 is like,
he doesn't drive for Red Bull.
yeah,
doesn't
like
drive
nobody wins races.
Yeah, F1's interesting.
How about that game last night, eh? Tried to give it away. Tried to give it away.
That's one of
Other
the
good
worst
six
beats.
period third or 6-goal third period.
One of the worst
That-
beats in Oilers betting.
Finish was so stressful and it did not need to be. It was driving me crazy, especially because I had the puck line.
Oh man, and like that puck line was. Well, you know what sucked is in the first period we should have had 4 goals,
Yes.
and that also sucked. And
They hit
then
6 posts last night.
because we didn't score a bunch of goals in the first. Yeah, we had a good second, but then we just kind of like took the foot off the gas and started letting them in. Like we should have been way ahead. And granted, being up 4-1 is way ahead.
Do we think Skinner played well?
I thought he was great.
wasn't his
To me,
best.
that was a shine, and this might sound like a weird take at first. That's a shining example of how he is on his way to being a legit number 1 in the NHL. He didn't have his best stuff in that hockey game. He made a couple of mistakes. The team in front of him was collapsing. His stat line wasn't the best, but son of a bitch, he made the biggest save when you absolutely needed your goalie to make you a huge save. He's a number one.
I don't think it was his best game.
But he made the big save, and you won because of it.
But he should have been in that position.
On the flip side, though, if Jack Campbell won a game 4-3 and finished with an 821, we'd be shitting on his fucking mouth.
Ew.
Gross.
Yes.
I mean, Jack Campbell, like against the Rangers, we didn't shit on him. He gave up 3 goals. And they won.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the difference is we just like Skinner right now.
No, the difference is Skinner has a track record.
Biggest shit in the world that day in his mouth?
I mean, how would you get those two pieces of the puzzle together at the same time?
But you got to rank it. Like that might be the biggest shit that someone shits in someone's mouth on that day.
See, but how would you know that? There's probably some kink over in like Europe right now that's getting shit in the mouth, and it might be there.
know
that? But that's what I'm saying. If the world had a ranking, then you'd know that.
It's the grossest.
You would know that.
This is a disastrous episode of the podcast.
I wonder how this one ranks with any podcast being recorded.
And if there was a world ranking for it, you would know that.
There is a world ranking for this.
Yeah, it's called Chartable. It's terrible.
No, but it's like a real time thing. Like right now, like right now, somebody makes a good point in another podcast, and they jump us, and we're like, "Whoa, okay, wait, we got to make a good point," and then we jump them. Like it's a ever moving scale.
So when I
But nobody's listening to this right now.
Would it motivate you to do better? Would it motivate you to go take a bigger poop?
Or would it motivate me to go
What on earth?
execute a really good ad read?
Yes.
Episode 433 of the Real Life Podcast, as always, delivered by DoorDash and brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Tonight is a big night in my house. All right?
Let's go.
For a couple of reasons. My girlfriend did No Drink November and cleared it, did it.
Well done.
10 out of 10. She did a great job. So I told her on December 1st, I'll buy you a nice bottle of wine.
We getting drunk.
And we'll share a bottle of wine and have dinner. So that's huge.
Oh,
Bills
boy.
play.
Hang on, question.
Oilers play.
Are you going to drink wine tonight like it's the last liquid on earth, like the last time you drank
It's
it?
not going to be red wine, so yes, I'll partake. But yeah, so Oilers, Bills, and order in a little DoorDash. So there you go. That's my night. Promo code GameDay25 gets you 25% off and no delivery fees on your first order of $25.
You could even DoorDash your wine.
Could DoorDash the wine. All right, we'll be back after this. Anyways. Yeah, so that's my night tonight.
I love it.
That's a nice night.
You know what? Can I tell you? Last night, Chalmers, I feel like you'll appreciate this. It's November 30th. There's an Oilers game on. I had all the Christmas lights on in my house. I'm watching hockey. I poured myself a nice stiff rum. And I just realized we're entering the Christmas season. So I've got 6 weeks of daily rums if I choose because it is the holidays.
Yep. You're fully allowed.
I get to open my first beer from my beer advent calendar tonight, and I can't wait. I'm going to go home, do all the shoveling I need to do, and I'm going to go crush that beer and read this. We get this nice little story printed out, whatever beer. I'm going to learn about it.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
I got the first of my advent
fantastic.
calendar too. I'm very excited.
So you guys don't have kids, and gosh, if
Jay
you,
has a kid.
And so does
well,
Wanye.
but not a.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. Sorry, you guys don't. Sorry,
Wanye literally sent a photo of him today in the group chat.
No, yep, you're right.
Proof of life.
Let me.
Yeah.
You guys done?
Yep.
Let me rephrase that. You don't have kids that are at the age where you have to do this pomp and circumstance of the Christmas season right now.
Elf on a
Now,
shelf.
if you have kids, if you have kids in the room or they're listening to you with you in the car, just kind of like
earmuff it,
or just like pause it. I know I always hate this kind of thing when
guy.
So December 1st is an interesting day for me because it marks the beginning of Elf on the Shelf season, which is my least favorite season of the year. Because
holds you accountable.
It holds you accountable. You can't forget. It's like a responsibility that I'm not used to. So it's difficult because we're trying to keep the faith. We're trying to keep the miracle of Christmas alive. But also on December 1st, I can have a riot at noon on a Tuesday and it don't matter. Right?
Yep.
Because it's Christmas season now. So, so this Elf on the Shelf is pretty much the worst possible invention in the history of the world because there's so many things that could happen. So I'm going to call up my sister here for a second because 2 weeks ago, we went to my sister's house for dinner on a Sunday night. And we walk in, house is beautifully decorated. It's just me and the family and just their family. And their kids are old now. You know, they're 16 and 13.
Yeah, they're adults.
So they're adults.
Yeah.
They don't
get Christmas. Fuck them.
Right. So they're using their Elf on the Shelf as a decoration.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that thing showed up 2 weeks early in the eyes of my kids. So we had some splaining to do. And I did not know what to say. Pretty sure that it marked the straw that broke the camel's back for my oldest. He looked at me with a you fucking liar kind of look. And my youngest just kind of buys everything because he's still young, right? But, you got to be, even if you don't partake in that kind of thing with your your kids, you have to think about the people you're having over. And that's why this thing comes with so many. So, like it's just, there's so many ways that this can get screwed up.
It should literally be a crime.
Seriously.
And it'll be like punishable by law and a crazy fine if someone elf in a shelves in November.
Right.
To sewer someone who actually practices elf in a shelf in December.
Exactly. And so here's my burden with it, is that my wife goes to bed every night at around 8:30.
Yep. And
therefore, my kids are still awake. That leaves the burden of the responsibility of the elf on the shelf squarely on these shoulders right here.
Mm-hmm. Your wife's also up at 2 a.m.
That's right. So no. I'm not. My thing is that she deserves.
I'm checking for you here, Chalmers.
Right. She deserves to go to bed.
Yep.
But it puts that on me.
No. But she also could do it at 2 a.m. is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Probably a sensitive subject at home, but
no. It's absolutely not. We've just never really thought of that before. Because at 2 a.m, she's got to get the hell out of, she's got to get up. It's 2 a.m, number one. She doesn't need that burden. So I take it and I totally get it.
And you have a rye and you do it.
And he forgets it.
Chalmers, are there any times when Mrs. gets up at 2 a.m. and you're still having a cocktail? Like,
yeah. No, but not on the weekdays. Not on the weekdays. But you know what? She used to work the weekend shift, so that would happen where I would come home on like a Friday night, and she would be like filling in for, and we would literally high five at the back door, and she'd go to work, and I'd go
in, collapse in the back entry.
Yeah, pour another rye and then go to bed. But anyways, so I have forgotten though, but we're not just talking about, and this is like, honestly, you cannot have your kids hear this part, but like, we're not just talking about Elf on the Shelf. We're talking about Tooth Fairy. We're talking about all this shit that I have to do.
There are people right now who have kids listening that you're ruining.
I said to them right off the bat, I said, stop listening. Do not listen.
And this podcast is also featured talk about shitting in people's mouths.
Yeah, so I really highly doubt that anybody with kids is listening. And you had fair warning. But I'm just saying, I have forgotten this way too many times. And it is a real stressful thing. I'm not going to, and to become up with like shit that's creative, I can go throw them on this shelf over there and then throw them on this one, right? But the whole idea of it is that you do creative stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Do you have like a list on your phone of like things you can do?
I do. He often fishes with goldfish in the sink. That's always a popular one.
Throw him on the crossbar of your backyard rink. There's a good one.
Put him
outside.
When we were kids, this wasn't a thing.
Too many beers. I've often crushed beer cans. I've had him playing a poker game with like He-Man and a Barbie and like a couple different.
That's cool.
Yeah, the fact that we had a Barbie, I mean, just don't even get started with that. But I have 2 boys. Yeah, and that's fine.
That doesn't matter, Chalmers.
Doesn't matter.
I never said it did. I'm just saying. One of them asked for one for Christmas. And
you got it for him. Like
absolutely we did.
Damn
good.
Whatever he wants. So, there's a bunch of different things that we do. Some are more fun than others. I'll often melt chocolate and put it all around him and then like have the chocolate chip jar knocked over. There's a lot of stuff you can go online and you can find out.
And you're like, ew, he just took the giant, most biggest elf poo in the world.
Poo. Yeah. I wonder how he ranks in elf poos for that day. Anyways, so December. Yeah, and it's always like earmarked by JR's birthday. Which is
I'm trying to think of ideas for you, and everything that I'm thinking of is super dark. So I hope that
exactly
I don't have Elf on the Shelf duties because I can't be trusted.
Just imagine on a Friday night, you've had a couple cocktails, it's 2 a.m, and you realize you got to do it. The things that go through your mind, you're like, this will be so funny. And then you wake up at 7 and you're like, that was not that fun.
Oven kind of thing.
Yeah,
Elf's head in the oven, legs in the garbage disposal.
Oh boy. Anyways.
I got breaking news. Lukaku ended up playing in the last game for Belgium, and he had the easiest tap-in goal to score, and he effed it up for Belgium not to get through. There you go. Lukaku.
The fix is in with Belgium. I don't mind telling you.
Someone's going to fact-check it and say, Jay, Lukaku did play in his last game. Well, I beat you to the punch.
That's good. Self-reporting. That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
So, tonight, Minnesota Second game of a back-to-back.
Oilers traditionally good in the second half of back-to-backs.
That is true, but just it's something about the Minnesota Wild that they're just like a kryptonite team for the Oilers.
The Wild have won 6 consecutive games against the Oilers.
It's just there's something I don't have high hopes for it if I'm being honest.
They've got Nick Delory. They now have Ryan Reeves,
Mason Shaw,
and Jordan Greenway or whatever Greenway.
Marcus Foligno.
Greenway's a big body. I think he's a bit of a soft, like Archibald ended his life.
I don't think Delory is playing tonight, though.
What? Hurt?
He's not in the lineup.
A week and a half ago, we talked about this 4-game road trip and whether or not being 12-12 would be satisfactory for us. And right now, we are 13-10. If we finish this, that will be way above our expectations from a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, if they win this,
we still are. We are above our expectations for what we said for these 4 games.
We finished the month strong. We had a big lapse,
but it's what they needed to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Tyler, what?
And
did they finish? Was November finish at 500?
Yeah, 7-7.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how we could look so goddamn dominant last night and still. If you just saw the result, like when my kids woke up, they went to bed after the second period, and when they woke up in the morning and they saw that we had won 5-4, they were like, "What happened?"
Well,
and I was like, "Buddies, I don't know."
Well, I mean, we made 6 posts.
We made some amazing defensive gaffes.
Cody Ceci with really his first big gaff of the year. It felt like.
Yeah.
Max Domi, Oilers killer.
Yeah.
Future Oiler.
So now we're getting O'Reilly, Domi. Who was the other one that?
Jonathan Taves.
Jonathan Taves.
I teased you the other day with someone really good, and you were having none of it.
No, I said you would do it in a heartbeat. Would I trade McLeod for him was the question.
Who was it?
Do you remember when you said that Tyler Benson was going to become more of a pest to play against?
He got into it after one of the whistles yesterday.
He did, but he kind of tried to get out of there as fast as possible. Did you notice that?
It's his first game back. Give him some time.
Okay. He's not small. Like he's.
What'd you trade? Sam Bennett. That's who we're trading Ryan McLeod for.
What about him?
Ryan McLeod for Sam Bennett. Who says no?
Not me.
Interesting.
Except he was
the guy who can do a chin up at the combine.
He's overcome.
But he can do one now.
He's overcome that now.
He will put one on your chin too. If you don't fucking.
And just think of the dueling Moe's, Sam Bennett and Stuart Skinner. Come on.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be spicy bag milk.
What was that, bag milk?
Dueling Moe's.
I had Frank Saravalli on the show today. And I asked him how close were the Oilers to getting Ryan Reeves. And he said they definitely debated it and were kind of in the mix. But a few things. His cap hit was an issue.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't really afford him. And the past beef between him and Evander Kane was the other issue.
So
I'm actually surprised they would factor in history before making a trade, even though they love just pissing off Connor McDavid.
Can you do me a favor? Because I don't. All I ever see of Ryan Reeves is going to hockeyfights.com and watching him fight people. What are the pros and cons of bringing him here? What does he add? Mm-hmm. And in turn, we have to obviously take away somebody in the lineup. What does that? What gets taken away? Well, that's what I'm asking.
It's irrelevant. Our bottom 6 is whack.
Reeves brings like the intimidation factor, and that's about it. He doesn't skate well. He doesn't score well. He cannot kill penalties. And he has a 1.75.
So we're literally just bringing in a Semenko to his Gretzky. Like, that's it.
Well, but Semenko played with Wayne, right?
Right. You know what I mean.
So Reeves is
we're literally just bringing in a deterrent.
Yeah.
But my argument there, like I thought adding Reeves was stupid. I thought it was a dumb idea from the jump.
I'm fine with not adding Reeves, but like, because you want someone who's more versatile, but like, we should have signed Delorier.
The little Saravalli nugget that I found interesting is that apparently the Oilers internally have been debating claiming Wayne Simmons when he's been going on waivers all the time.
I would take the Wayne train in 1 second.
But why is he not playing? Sorry, enlighten me on that as well.
He's lost a step too, right? Like, he doesn't move as well as he used to, and just not the same player.
Yeah, but if he's on your 4th line, that's fine.
And Bob Stauffer, I thought, made an interesting point today, saying with McDavid and Draisaitl having them, you play them so much that you can kind of afford to waste a roster spot on a guy like that.
With all due respect to like a Devin Shore, is really Wayne Simmons not better than Devin Shore? I get the cap. There's cap implications
100%,
there.
I'm with you there.
He's cheaper, actually. Isn't he league minimum?
He's $900K, so $500K.
Oh my! And we're doing.
And you can have him for free on the waiver wire.
Well,
I would do it.
Color me speechless. I don't really know what to say about that.
I agree. Like Devin Shore for me is one of those guys that like, hey, he can be your 13th forward, and when you're in a pinch, he gives you decent 7 minutes a game. But he does not hit. He brings you no intensity. He's not great with the puck. He does close to nothing. I think he's great in the room. But if you could find a way to replace that guy, like at least James Hamblin's going to like skate hard and like get it on the forecheck, right? At least Tyler Benson has the ability to make a good offensive play, even though you don't see it a lot. But Devin Shore is just kind of like, he is, who is it? The Matthias Granlund, Marcus Granlund. He's dry toast.
Yeah, dry toast. But going back to Ryan Reeves for a second, Tyler, don't you? So this is the quote from Bill Guerin on why they got him. And I just want your take on it. It's not for the fighting. He's a big personality. He's got a lot of energy. He's got swagger. We've been missing that in our lineup. The energy he brings is really good, and the size. He's going to help us get our identity back. You don't buy any of that?
So it's funny how he says it's not for the fighting, but then uses all the terminology to support the fighting.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. When you think of like boring NHL teams, what's the first team that comes to your mind? The Minnesota Wild. Like just boring. Just in every way.
They haven't been boring for since they've gotten Kaprizov, they haven't been boring. But we still think they are. We just don't see them.
Yeah. No, the perception is that they're boring. And now they have Reeves, and maybe that's going to change things. And maybe that changes the perception of them internally as well.
Oh, sorry. Delorier signed in Philly. He's not even with the Wild anymore. So I retract all my Delorier Minnesota Wild comments.
How's Jujar doing in Chicago, by the way?
Oh, yeah, he did sign with the Flyers. Yeah. Jujar, meh. He's the same Jujar as always.
I did bet on him to score last night.
I think he's in one of his heaters right now where he's playing, like he's scoring. Remember, he'd always have those runs here in Edmonton where it'd be like 12 games, and it's like, holy shit, they got their third line center of the future. Like, Jujar's moving, baby. Then he would just like get hurt or start playing bad again.
It was good to see him. I'm happy he's still in the league.
Oh, yeah, he's still bad. And I'm happy that he's healthy, too, because he's had some scary head injuries.
Yeah, he had a rough couple of years there, so it's good to see him.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but a 7:30 start time in Chicago is like 9:30 for them. 8:30 for them.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what? They're in They're in Central.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were more east.
And again, just tell me what time the puck drops. I don't want to know when the broadcast starts. Tell me when the puck drops, because last night it was what 7:55 by the time they actually got going. Just tell me that.
Outrageous.
How much do you love? So I guess it was a doubleheader on TNT, but how much do you guys love seeing the clips of Leon Draisaitl and Paul Bissonnette talking to each other, and they just get each other's names wrong? What is Paul Bissonnette's just infatuation with knowing if Draisaitl's ever been in McDavid's hot tub? What is that about?
He asks him that every time.
It's a shtick. But
no, I know, but he calls
you know what
him
annoys
Dion,
me about it, Chalmers, is that,
and then Leon calls him Wiz.
The thing that annoys me about that, like, it's great that he did, is that, like, why is it TNT that gets that out of Dry
that's
and
exactly
not
what I was
Rogers?
going to say.
Like, why are we, like, why can't the Oilers TV or Rogers?
Because we have a guy who's known for his puns, not a guy who will talk about chucking one in a belly button on a live broadcast in a hotel room. Oh, he's going to get some Chinese and chuck one in the belly button. He said that on a live broadcast, Paul Bissonnette.
I understand he said that.
Our guy makes puns. How's he going to get anything out of anybody?
I honestly feel like the narrative and what can be asked and what can be said is controlled. That's what I think the limitation is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to see their personality.
TNT comes in, they have fun, they ask fun questions. You always get good player reactions from there. But then, they go
because
back.
TNT is smart enough to know that, like,
I know,
we have the number one studio show in our basketball coverage with Shaq and Kenny.
TNT's smart.
Right.
I'm not shitting on TNT.
Oh,
I'm shitting on,
I see what you're doing.
I'm shitting on what we get served all the time. We don't get to see any of that fun stuff.
We talked about this like a year and a half ago, where
who's
the guy that's going to bring out the personalities of like an NHL hockey player, and Biznessi was obviously one of them. Yeah. And he's absolutely crushing it there. So who's another? Who's like a Canadian that you can get?
I don't know if it's so much as
people. You like Kevin Bieksa. If you let him fly, great. He could get it out of people, and he sometimes does, and he does push it. But like,
he just seems like he tries a little bit too hard.
I think Biz seems like he tries way too hard.
Yes, that could be the perception of him as well. But I don't.
But you kind of need a guy. If you want that, the guy's got to try to do it.
100%.
But like Letterkenny yet has a bunch of dudes on it that can straight up talk like that and actually seems like their personality. Like it's not like there's a vernacular there that I've often been like, okay, the minute you start using it, you're trying too hard. But there's actually guys out there that I hear talk like that where I'm not thinking that they're just putting on a shtick. That's just literally who they are.
Jay, you said like you think what they can ask and all that is like controlled to an extent. I think it's not controlled by the NHL. I think I'm not
because the NHL will control TNT at that point.
Yeah,
it's not an NHL issue. It's a Edmonton issue.
Oh, I think it's a Canadian hockey issue, not an Edmonton issue. I think it's like a Sportsnet.
Is it like a sheltering issue? Do you think ultimately the people that are making those decisions are using it to shelter them from problems?
No, because they think what Canadians want is a very polished and professional broadcast, and the game needs to be talked about in like a higher level way than Paul Bissonnette being like, "What do you call your stick?"
Or the
what do you
rights
call your
holder
stick?
thinks that's how
Is
it
that a
needs
serious
to be,
question?
and they have control of all the content.
Sportsnet thinks it should be like a polished broadcast with the four of them sitting on their little leather chairs, being like, "Why isn't the forecheck working?"
Right.
Meanwhile,
So have you guys?
They forget that
games a
hockey's
week
fun
and
sometimes.
serves them their fucking lunch.
What's that?
Government name. I just find that on Sportsnet or the Canadian broadcast, they kind of lose the part where hockey's fun. You know, the guys have personalities, and drawing that out can be really entertaining for people. And I think TNT does a really good job.
But see, do you guys watch the NFL coverage on?
Teams up here also take themselves extremely seriously.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right, and a lot of people do.
Like, what the fuck?
But on TSN, their NFL coverage, they've had a lot of people. Like they had Jabari Greer, then they went to Davis Sanchez, and now what do they have? Right, they have Luke Wilson, who is a quote machine. You know, and we've talked about that. We thought he would be better, right? But he was like their idea of somebody who's going to come on and just like be loose and let it fly, right? And so it's not like, I don't know. Is that just with NFL coverage? Is that because that's what NFL likes? Or
So like the
I don't
reality
really get
of the
it.
NFL is like, aside from a few broadcasters, a lot of it's dry toast.
Yeah. Do you guys
A lot of
do you guys ever listen to Davis Sanchez?
I see him on SportsCenter.
Do you ever listen to him? Do you like him? Like, what if you had to rate him out of 10? Because if we had a world ranking of people who disliked Davis Sanchez, I would be number 1 or 2.
Really?
Yep.
See, but he brings energy, and I think that's the same reason because you're more of a diehard football fan, right? And Canadian NFL content, I think, is geared a little bit more towards the casuals and the bettors, and whereas TNT's broadcast down in the States, it's geared more towards, all right, grow the game. There's a lot of casuals watching, not diehards, right? And Canada's hockey coverage is the flip-flop. You said football coverage in the States, aside from a few people, is largely boring and vanilla, and it's former coaches.
Yeah, like the CBS show, which is basically for 80-year-old people.
It's like Nate
Phil
Burleson and a
Simms.
bunch of people from a retirement home.
So, but if you've never watched, like when they talk about a game, if you've ever realized, if you've watched enough of these clip shows, you'll realize that like, she'll tee him up and he'll go, yeah, so Patrick Mahomes. And then all of a sudden he'll have to start talking over video of him doing like 3 or 4 different things. Yeah. In that video, if you listen to him, he says the same exact thing 3 different ways. He never elaborates. Okay. He'll say what he says, and then he'll, oh yeah, I mean, he's great out of the pocket. The next time when he gets to running, he can usually find guys. So you don't want to keep him in the pocket. And then, the best part about him, and he'll basically waste 45 seconds saying the same fucking thing. And there's nothing of value in there.
Okay, and what I'll counter with this is you're drooling over the TNT broadcast, which I agree is great for what it needs to be doing. It's entertaining. Rick talking last night. Hey, Leon, your backhander's so good, man. How did you learn that? And then when they get an interview with Connor McDavid the game before, Connor, your skating, it's so good, man. How do you skate so good? And they're like, they're dumbed
pandering
down
to their audience.
They're pandering, and that's all the Davis Sanchez thing is doing. What do the casual NFL fans want to see? Look how good Patrick Mahomes is. Are they going to really absorb any hardcore analysis? No, they just need the same buzzwords.
But they had
3
Jabari
times.
Greer, and they have other people that can be put in place. Yeah. So why is it him?
Because he's likable and he has a
he's good. He's a good looking dude. Yeah. Like, let's not be. He looks great on camera,
energetic, vibrant.
Yeah, so I do get
attractive.
It. Well, he is, but that's a huge factor. And Luke Wilson, like the whole fun about him is he comes and he doesn't do his hair.
Oh yeah,
like he's goofy, and him and Jay kind of get on well, right?
Because they're both kind of
because they're both kind of goofy. Yeah. Like I understand it, but at the same time, we don't in our Sportsnet broadcast of our games, we don't really have anything that blows me away.
I do love Jack at the end.
Oh,
of the
no,
game.
I love Jack.
is
Oh,
great.
fuck.
And
I'm
I
not-
love Louis.
No.
I love how they cover the game, but like,
I think the panel can be better. I think Luke Gazdick, whenever you see him, I'm always like, shit, he's good.
yeah,
He
he's
hits you with a
trying.
couple of little insights, and
Yeah.
his knowledge is presented fine. But there's also a lot of the stuff that we kind of hear in those panels. That's like,
I do
oh my
like
God.
seeing Struds. I like seeing Struds, and I like seeing Joaquin Gage.
That was actually the best when Sportsnet was doing that, and it was a different former
Yeah,
player in that
see,
chair
I
with
like that
Gene.
shit.
I loved that.
I love that shit because it's not always the same thing.
Mix it up.
Anyways, okay, we don't have to shit on media. I mean, fuck, who are we? Right?
Yeah, our
Well, we were talking about hockey, and then you spun it to football really fast.
our media
It
site
was
can't
a
even figure
way
out
to
their
give
starting
you
goalies
like
now, right?
a perspective.
I know. I'm just kidding. It's just that's your shtick.
That's my shtick.
Is to try to always
To
bring it
just change
football.
everything.
To bring it to football.
Well, football's pretty fucking exciting. Let's all take a note from the biggest sport in the North America.
Let's give some love to the FIS
You were gonna
Snowboard
say
Big
in
Air
the
World
world.
Cup presented
You
by
were gonna say
Toyota.
in the world.
It's coming to Edmonton on December 10th. Tickets are on sale, Ticketmaster.ca. You can check out some pictures. Explore Edmonton, I think, was posting some of the setup there. It's looking pretty dang cool. Shout out to the FIS Snowboard Big Air World Cup and also AMA Travel. If you head to nationgear.ca, also, if you're listening to this podcast, you may have heard an ad for this.
We hope you did. We recorded it.
We certainly hope you did.
Loaded it, I believe.
AMA Travel. We're back with them. And we're
back
going to
with 'em.
Toronto, March 10th to 12th. Nationgear.ca. Check it out.
Somebody that knows about the setup at Commonwealth, we sent a picture of them actually setting up the scaffolding probably like 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And then when I found out that it was when it was, I was like, well, that's pretty premature, but that's fine. Do you think they were just like getting it ready so that they could take advantage of the snow that we might have, like we have had in the last couple of days? Like does this thing take that long to set up, or is it one of those things where it's like, let's get it out there, let's get let's get whatever the membrane is, test it, try to incorporate as much of the natural resources we can from the snow.
Free snow.
Free snow.
Yeah, free snow.
Free snow. Free
Got
snow.
a lot of free snow in the last couple of days, and I think there's some more free snow coming.
And yes, Bag Milk, I did say the biggest sport in the world because I forgot that the World Cup was going on right now because it's been so goddamn disappointing. Anyways, we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye, hey? No, I'm just kidding.
Nope. Not going there today.
Why not?
Kanye, you got a Kanye take?
What did he do today? I haven't been watching.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
What? He went on with Alex Jones, dude. He is a mess.
Yeah. Spotify Wrapped though. Anyone get anything interesting in their Spotify Wraps? Bag milk.
I'm an Apple Music guy.
Is that where it tells you what you've done for the past year?
What your listening habit. I saw a bunch of people were posting that like Real Life was in their top 5 podcasts.
Oh, come on.
and all that. So I liked it.
Yeah,
how do you
a lot
get your
of people
wrap?
did.
By going to the Spotify
Okay, so
app?
as they get their rap, let's talk about this. Oh
Mine's
boy,
good.
it's a whole production.
Mine's
sir.
going to be so bad because I only listen to Spotify.
This
for
is going to
work
be
music.
fun. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It's
We're
for
getting this
work
real-time
music.
rap.
Yeah, let's
So
talk about you.
what does it tell you? It tells you your favorite
DJ.
music,
Oh,
your
this
favorite.
This is Eva's account, not mine.
Oh, boy, here we go.
She logged into hers. I got to log into mine. That's going to be very interesting.
Bag
What
Milk,
was
are
on
you
your
doing your
phone?
Spotify rap as well right now?
No, I'm an Apple Music guy, so I
Me
can't
too. I
tell you.
don't even have Spotify.
Oh, that was my phone that was doing that. Playing music in the background. Sorry, everybody. All right. Well,
What was on yours, Tyler?
what did I have a lot of? Obviously, I'm like in the top 0.01% of Drake listeners in the world.
Yeah, boy.
See, how would you know that unless you had that ranking? Hello.
Yeah, I
see,
don't know.
I have,
I don't know.
it's a thing.
I feel like you can go for number 1 next year, Tyler.
I honestly feel like I probably could with how good his most recent album
Like,
is.
what do you think? Oh, the one with 21?
Yeah, the one with 21 is really good. So
It
what
is
do
really
I
good.
have?
I every time my kids ask for something,
Yeah.
I sing to them that I don't talk to broke boys. It's really stupid, but it's what we do.
I listen
But that's
to
a good dad joke, though, you know?
It is a very good dad joke. Yeah, there's
almost 16,000 minutes of
Okay.
music, which
Okay.
isn't that much.
Okay.
I played 1,900 different songs, and my number 1 song was Jimmy Cooks by Drake. So again, mine is just honestly the most like basic white guy hip hop thing ever. My top 5 is like Drake, Kanye, Jack Harlow, and Kendrick Lamar, and probably like and 21 Savage. Yeah, like that was it. It's very basic. I have a very basic taste in music, and I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not.
I am shocked that you are as successful as you are watching you try to get into your own Spotify account.
I forgot my password.
It is just...
I forgot my password.
You ain't got somebody for that or what? Because you are fucking killing me over here.
Here we go. I got it.
So I'm watching this. I've seen Jay do this before. Like my favorite is when we're at the airport and I just mentioned casually that I've downloaded a bunch of shows on Netflix for the flight, and then Jay goes, "Oh shit, I got to download some shows."
But first, he's got to forget password, forget
question,
username.
he does not know the password.
I got to make some phone calls. I explored 5 different genres, just so you know. Indie folk.
Oh my god.
Compositional ambient, electronics, indie rock, and classical performance. Remember, I only listen to Spotify while I work. That's all brain music.
Just brain music.
And try to put the baby to bed.
I listened. Playtime was 2,300 minutes. That's more than 29%. Okay, went too fast. I'm a slow reader.
I kind of want to just get Spotify for this whole rap. This is fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah, me
I wonder
too.
if
Like
Apple
I'm
does
looking
a
at
rap.
Apple Music. They don't even tell
Apple
me what
rap
I've
me
been
up.
listening to.
Tell me what I did, Apple.
Wanya, you'll appreciate this. The number one
You play
song.
22. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Come on.
My number one song is a song by Oliver Arnold's or whatever.
Oh, bravo.
Yeah.
It's a
Everybody
chill
do
year
this
you're
and send
having.
us what yours is. See face login. That's what you got to get. Everybody's just doing another. This is okay.
The worst.
So yeah. Play your highlight reel. Well, this is fun. Oh, George Jones, a little Hell Ketchum. That must be when it's late night on a Saturday night and I just want to cry a bit.
Okay,
like you
that's
wait
it.
till Saturday.
We're gonna get copyrighted if you play anymore.
Yeah, you gotta slow it down.
All right. I think we're gonna move towards wrapping this podcast up because everyone is now fully in on their Spotify.
We
rap.
get so sidetracked.
I'm out now. Yeah, it was Oliver Arnold's.
I played The Races
do-
On by George Jones more times than any other song on my thing. That is bizarre.
Impressive.
I do like
I
that
hear
Spotify
tears going
change.
up, going deep inside like my heart's going insane.
Spotify changed it up this year where they kind of did it like the concert tour graphic for your Spotify rap this year. I appreciate the change from folks at Spotify.
Oh,
Yeah.
You got a beef?
That was a different thing.
how do I get that graphic?
I'll show
I don't know.
you
I don't got
after.
Spotify.
This has turned into like a production meeting, kind of.
Yeah, it kind of has. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. You know what I'm doing today? Hammering the Oilers-Bills parlay. Oilers money line, Bills minus 3.5 is paying up plus 375. I'm going to be rich tonight.
Who are they playing tonight?
The Pats. Mac Jones and
Where?
fraudulent Bill Belichick.
Don't the Pats
Where?
have some kind of weird power over?
The Bills beat them by like 50 in the playoffs last year. So, no. I'm very confident in my team. All
Well,
right.
after the weekend, we're gonna have a bunch of fun Oilers stuff to talk about because we play tonight and then Saturday again, right?
Yeah, Saturday at home against Montreal. And then after that, like this Oilers
Monday.
schedule, knock on wood, they're in a spot where they can rack up some wins. You go Minnesota, Montreal, Washington, Arizona, Minnesota, Minnesota. They play Minnesota back-to-back. And then Nashville, St. Louis, Anaheim. I count a lot of winnable hockey games. They just got to buckle in, get her done.
And you know what the Oilers need? I watched the Redeem Team the other day.
Ooh, I love that.
It was so good. And I'm thinking about like who the Oilers could bring in that's their equivalent to Kobe. The only tricky part is that Kobe was one of the best basketball players in the league at the time. But the way he taught them how to practice and when he goes down to the gym at like 5 a.m. when the boys were just coming in from a night out, I love that shit. The Oilers need a Kobe.
What happened?
Yarmy Yager? Is that what we need?
Taves.
Maybe. Could be. So basically what happened, Wanye, is they were talking about...
Let's try it.
Basically what happened was that goes through the American Olympic disappointment in basketball at the Olympics from 2004. They were expected to win. They shit themselves, did not win. They did not play like a team whatsoever.
Who won?
So
Do you
going
remember?
Yeah, it was like Argentina, I believe,
Turkey?
or Argentina.
I don't think it was Argentina. Okay, go.
But anyway, so for 2008, they're like, well, we can't let this happen again. Nobody wants to win bronze when you're the American basketball team. So they talked about the complete change in mentality going into the 2008 Olympics, which included Coach K recruiting Kobe Bryant to join the team, and how there's a big part in the documentary about how Kobe basically taught that team how to work and what it takes to win. And the story that really stuck out was the boys all went out. They were it was in Beijing at the time. So they all went out for a night out. And when they came back to the hotel at like 4 or 5 in the morning, they ran into Kobe in the lobby. And Kobe was in all his gym gear. And they're like, what the fuck's going on, Kobe? And he's like, I'm going to work out. What are you guys doing? And they had just got in from a night out. So then as the weeks progressed, everybody started going down to the gym at 5 a.m. because Kobe set the example. And for me, I think the Oilers need something like that. Maybe it is Jonathan Taves, Tyler. Anyway,
maybe they just can watch him.
Great documentary.
Pick the puck up and go right at Jack Johnson, make him look absolutely foolish, and then just absolutely score in the best place you can score on a goaltender.
The teams that McDavid victimizes the most for his highlight reel goals, Calgary,
Rangers,
maybe one, but Chicago's right there. He scored 2 beauties against them this year.
Good.
And then he also, remember a few years ago, that was the team he did the spinning no look past to Maroon. Remember in the bubble playoffs, he had a couple of just absolute beauties. He owns the Hawks.
Can I give Jack Johnson a little bit of credit because clearly Connor's blowing past him. He did not stick his knee out. He knew Connor was by him.
He tried to cross-check him.
Jack Johnson cares about the state of the National Hockey League. He was like, listen, I'm going to get beat here, but the sport's better.
He tried to cross-check him. Go watch it again. He tries to cross-check him so bad,
Jack Johnson.
Slick McDavid just gets out of the way.
He would never.
He sure does.
Did you guys think that Hyman goal was like the non-goal? Do you like? I think that should have counted. Jones went down so easily; it annoyed me.
Yeah, but that's a tough one.
But
you can't overturn it because like, oh well, he went down easy.
So the only
easy,
frustrating
side
of that is Liam brought this up on Oilers Nation every day. Okay, so Hyman shoves Jones into the goalie, and it's no goal because Hyman scores. But last time they played Chicago, Jones absolutely plowed Kane into the goalie, and then the Oilers scored, and the goal still didn't count.
Yes.
Very confusing.
What's the difference? Absolutely plowed versus
because if someone is hit into the goalie, I don't know. I've confused myself. Chicago hit our guy into the goalie. That's what was the problem.
Into their own goalie.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and that one didn't count.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm...
Ooh, do you know who's playing for the Bills tonight? Elevated from the practice squad? Wide receiver, John Brown.
That doesn't excite me.
Oh, he'll score a touchdown tonight. Bet it.
No.
Yep.
All right, we're going to wrap. Talk to everybody on Monday. This has been it. Episode 433. Shout out to Alfa Romeo of Edmonton, Tourism Jasper, AMA Travel, and the FIS Snowboarding Big Air World Cup presented by Toyota, as well as our presenting sponsors, DoorDash and Oodle Noodle.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday.